You know, when we first started this amazing journey, we didn't know much about towing. Well, Chris had towed cargo trailers, dump trailers, boat trailers, and has driven fire engines, ladders, and armored cars. But never an RV, and absolutely nothing as big as our current RV. Between the last 2 trucks we've had, we've built up nearly 100,000 miles visiting sites we've never seen before, and family and friends spread out across the USA. Not to mention 26 states in the lower 48 so far. Midwest and Northeast, we're going to be heading your way soon. We've owned 2 very different RVs, from Winnie to Beauty. We've covered a lot of ground across this great country and made a lot of friends along the way. And today we're going to look at how fast is too fast to tow or drive your RV. Now, don't just take it from us. We reached out to friends at Hettesh World, Barb and Bob, Tegan and Mike, who are professional truckers, and talked with Paul and Beth about their Class A.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Lady Barb, how goes things?
Good. They told us there was an alligator out at our Oak Pit, South Point South, and we can't find it. We're pretty sure they just lie.
Just hop in the water, you'll find it real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's so good to hear you guys' voice again.
I know. We've been wanting to call you just to see how you were doing and how Shelly was doing. And
well, you know me, I'm always doing great.
Yep.
Of course, Grizzly has to sit right here with me and be a part of my conversation.
Well, let's continue that Ann Park's on the phone.
Is Bob there with you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Should we? Is it okay here, or should we go back
that's fine.
to
I mean, the sound is the same either way. And
okay.
You don't have to worry about putting any makeup or anything on.
Okay, good, because you're not getting it. My hair is super cute, that's all I can tell you.
Oh, damn, and I'm missing it. I just wanted to kind of fill you in. We're calling people who have a vast amount of experience and asking their opinion. And just out of curiosity, how many miles do you guys have on that beautiful rig of yours so far?
About 35,000.
Wow, not bad at all. Yeah. Well, the main reason for the call is that we're looking for your opinion on towing speeds for RVs. In other words, the title of the video is going to be, How Fast is Too Fast?
Yep.
So, real quick, what's your opinion? Bob, you do most of the driving.
He's got it all typed out.
I got some notes I wrote down.
Oh. Cool.
So, what I put down is we normally when we drive, we stay about 5 miles per hour under the listed speed limit.
Yeah.
And
he was a teacher for driving school for 7 years for his job, part of it.
Oh,
yeah, so we always taught the guys that, speeding, normally you'll catch the person that was speeding past you, whether it's traffic lights or traffic or whatever.
Yeah, that's so true. It almost always happens.
Yeah.
It's that feeling on it to stress. You read it. I don't want to mix it up.
Yeah, it does.
We said speeding adds the stress, the last thing you want when you're towing a big rig. And then I just said the simple truth is that speed kills. Speed kills.
Yes, it does, definitely.
So we're towing over 31,000, 31,000 pounds. So that's why we always try to stay under the speed limit.
Right. Yeah. Well, and sometimes people think that they'll just figure out how it feels when they're towing, and they'll just kind of work their way up to normal driving speeds, which in some states and freeways can be as much as about 85 miles an hour, like Texas and North Idaho.
Yeah.
And they think that the truck or the SUV is doing great And that, like, man, this thing's doing so good, they think that's a good representation for towing its speeds without any consideration for what would happen if a gust of wind hits them broadside or just like hitting a pothole or something like that. They don't have a chance to avoid.
Honestly, I would say that normally Bob doesn't even feel it because of the suspension and it pulls so smooth, except for when we had to evacuate in Virginia Landing because of the storm surge and we had to cross the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And he felt it then.
I mean, and the other reason why we drive slower too is because of mileage. We get a lot better fuel mileage driving slower.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then I said that, well, the big reason is because I'm retired. I don't have to drive fast.
You don't have to worry about getting to work.
I know
awesome.
The other things a lot of YouTubers bring up is like the speed rating on tires. A lot of them people are driving over the speed limit of the tires that are rated on trailers. Usually aren't rated real high. Ours are rated for 75 miles per hour, but a lot of them are 60 miles per hour, and you see them blowing by you 85 mile an hour. Pulling a big rig. It's like, man, I don't know. I don't seem safe to me.
No, it doesn't to me either. I mean, what's that old saying? Speed kills.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean, we plan our days. We usually start out early so we don't have to worry about speeding to get to the campground, and
a lot of traffic and stuff.
We try to stay under 300 miles a day, so we don't have to drive fast. There's no reason for us to drive fast.
Yeah. And like the old saying says, you got nowhere to go and all day to get there.
You got that right.
That's right.
Yeah. Holy cow. Well, that's a pretty good amount of decent information. So that's perfect, guys. That worked out just great. It's always great talking to Bob and Barb, and he always has good content on mods and safety tips when dealing with your RVs. So if you get a chance, go to Hettesh World and check out their channel. Before we go on, we'd like to talk about some tips in regards to towing, like in our Ford. There is tow haul, cruise control, and a brake controller, which might be helpful if you're new to towing or towing your rig. Now, most of you know that I tow with a tow haul feature in our F450 in the on mode because it changes when the truck's tranny shifts and it engages engine braking when we're coming to a stop. Cruise control. When we had our 2500 Chevy and our 30-foot Winnie, we didn't use cruise control unless we were at speeds on open freeway, but had been advised by our dealer not to use it if there were hills or a lot of speed changes because it would cause the truck to rev way too high and was supposedly a massive waste of fuel economy. Now our 450 hardly downshifts much when we're climbing unless it's a really steep grade. So it is pretty unusual for it to downshift much, and that 6.7 liter diesel seems to do it pretty seamlessly. It really maintains our set speed amazingly well, so we use cruise control almost all of the time. We also have adaptive cruise control in our Platinum Beast, and it can pose another problem. If we're in the right lane and say we're going 65 miles an hour and come up on a semi doing 55, it's hard to tell the difference. The truck just transitions so smoothly. So to make us more aware of those not so subtle changes, I go into our truck's menu for the dash display and add the digital speedometer. With that exact speed displayed, it makes it easier for us to see that we've begun slowing and exactly how fast we're going, sort of prompting me to be more proactive and pass if it's safe to do so. Here's a tip. With adaptive cruise, if you hit your turn signal to pass and there's no forward obstruction, the truck will begin accelerating as you change lanes to pass. Alright, here's a tip about that built-in brake controller, at least the one on our Super Duty. We have a video we recently put out about brakes and controllers. We'll link it up here. Our rig now is quite large, and we fine-tuned our setup and brake controller to work perfectly together, something we were quite ignorant of when we first started. We hardly ever have an issue now with sway, as we've balanced our setup pretty well. But if we get hit with a big gust of wind or the road conditions were to initiate some sort of a sway, see this video, Death Wobble. There's a tip for that as well. It is critical if you're towing anything that you have a brake controller. In some states it's law, and if you have a newer truck, most come with an OEM version built right in. If you don't have one, you can easily install one or have an aftermarket version installed for you. It is so very important to have it if you're towing any size trailer. Well, if something on or about the road, truck and/or RV initiates a sway, sometimes called a fishtail, it could be tragic. Remember what my dad taught me that saved our bacon? Instinctively. So how do you make something instinctive? You practice it. Reach down and gently squeeze that brake controller's manual levers, and that will straighten out your RV trailer post-haste before it gets away from you. So on to our next video experts.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Tegan. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. What about you?
Hanging in there. Okay, well, let me fill you in on what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, just so you know, or just so the folks know, you guys are both over-the-road truckers, and you team drive big rigs back and forth across the U.S., and you've racked up thousands of miles of driving experience, right?
Millions, but yeah.
Millions? Oh my gosh, even better.
No.
Okay, so we're doing a video on how fast is too fast to tow. I know there's a big difference between RVs and the big rigs, but we're calling our experts, and you guys will be top of the list as driving experience experts to get you guys' opinions on this. So basically, in your opinion, or opinions, as professional driver, who's got to deal with us goofballs out on the road.
Oh my gosh.
How fast is too fast?
There are several things that go into that. Driving conditions, wind, rain, sleet, ice automatically slow down, but we see travel trailers don't. Wind, also your capacity of your tires. What is a speed rating? If your speed rating 65, you shouldn't be going over 65.
Yeah.
If you want a number, 62 to 65, fuel economy, and if you're experienced, you're used to pulling a boat and a pickup, that's fine. If not, slow her down. Do 5 over to speed around. You know, if you're passing a trailer when I'm going uphill, just don't hang out next to me forever for 20 miles. Get up and get around me. But if you can't maintain that speed when you get in front of me, then you're driving too fast for your experience. So there's tons of things to think of. You know, you're a high profile vehicle, you're light, you're top heavy. If you get in a situation where it's swaying back and forth, do you know how to get out of that? And speed is a factor. So
absolutely.
We see wrecks every day. It's also not your car, and a lot of people forget that they're zipping in and out with their camper and don't clear us or fishtail because they almost hit us. And don't forget, you're in a long vehicle. It's fine to slow down and stay to the right. And there's also a whole bunch of experienced hotshots that pull these all the time for the dealers. Yeah. So they're going faster. Don't keep up with them. They do this millions of miles. So they have the expertise on that.
Wow. That's some great information, Tegan.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, cut. It is always great to talk with them, just like extended family. Since our latest mishaps with our RV, we've adopted a new saying from some other RVers, and that is, slow is pro. It is so true, and we've always said, arrive alive. In this other video, you'll see that when we've had something go wrong, it's been mostly because of a hurried mindset. We're going to talk with another longtime friend who has a Class A motorhome and we would like to get his perspective on driving that Class A. Okay, guys, we're here with Paul and his wife, Beth. She's inside, and Paul has graciously said that he'd let me interview him, which I know he doesn't like being on camera. So I'm going to ask him the same question that I've asked Hettesh World, Bob and Barb, and that I asked of Tegan and Mike, the professional truckers. And that's, Paul, how fast is too fast to be driving or pulling an RV or driving a Class A?
It depends entirely on the conditions.
Yeah.
But also on your experience driving and the type of rig you have. If you're pulling something, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
We've been RVing since the late 60s.
Wow.
And I'm still not ready for everything that Mother Nature or whatever throws at me.
Or that people throw at you.
Or the crazy drivers. Yeah, you got that right.
Holy cow. Have you driven Class A's the whole time? Or?
We started out with a full camper.
Full camper, and then went from there?
23-footer, and then we went to a mini motorhome, and then we went to Class A.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've got quite a bit of time under you. And you guys traveled back and forth between Colorado, right?
Yes. We used to travel up to Montana or northwest Wyoming every summer to work in Yellowstone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we have seen quite a variety of terrain and drivers.
Yeah.
Some states are worse than others, too.
Yeah. If you had to pick a speed, how fast would you say for the average person out there is too fast to be driving?
Well, I like to drive between 60 and 65. That's pulling.
And so do I, yeah.
Another vehicle behind, and if the weather's not right, I'll drop the speed down to 55.
Yeah, so, absolutely, yeah.
I'm not one of these that as soon as they get on the interstate, they're cruising along 75, 80 miles an hour pulling a camping trailer.
I think what happens is a lot of these people think, well, I'll just figure it out by however fast I'm going, because it's the way I drive my car.
Well, a lot of people have a problem with trucks passing you. When a truck passes you, it sucks you in for a little bit and then blows you away.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, I think, try to keep up with the trucks.
Yeah.
Which is a big mistake.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
They're liable to get a pee bottle thrown out the window at them for one thing.
No kidding. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Or?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Paul, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
For putting up with me and my idiosyncrasies.
That's okay.
Stuff happens. If you're new to RVing, you probably haven't realized it yet, but it will catch up to you quickly. People turn out in front of you, they cut you off and stop smack dab dead in the middle of your lane, and they have no idea of how much weight you have and how long it's going to take you to stop. Gosh, we've even seen some folks brake check an 18-wheeler.
We hope you found this episode educational and helpful and enjoyed the thoughts from Hettesh World, Tegan and Mike, and Paul and Beth. We hope we made you smile and have given you some food for thought to get out and make your RV adventure even better. Right now, we're hanging out in the Valley of the Sun, enjoying the relatively warm and comfortable winter.
Thank you guys for riding along again. We hope we'll see you back here again next week, right here on OLT. Please, travel safe.